Here's something that'll make you uncomfortable. Right now, as you're watching this, 95% of the people who want success will never actually achieve it. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack talent, but because of something far more insidious that's happening in their minds every single day, and they have absolutely no idea it's destroying their chances. I spent 6 months digging through psychology research, interviewing people who made it and studying those who didn't. What I found wasn't some motivational garbage about working harder or waking up at 5 a.m. It was darker than that. It was a pattern so consistent, so predictable that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the worst part, you're probably exhibiting it right now without realizing it. Let me tell you about Sarah. 3 years ago, she had everything mapped out: business degree, solid plan, supportive family. She was going to launch an online consulting business. She bought the courses, set up her website, created her social media accounts. Then, nothing. Today, she's still at the same job she hated 3 years ago, still talking about when the timing is right. Here's what's fascinating: Sarah isn't unusual. A Stanford University study tracking 1,200 aspiring entrepreneurs over 5 years found that 94% never moved past the planning phase. Not because they ran out of money, not because they failed, they just stopped before they even really started. But why? That's where it gets interesting. The human brain has this thing called the intention-action gap, and it's absolutely brutal. Dr. Philippa Lally from University College London discovered that when we set a goal, our brain releases dopamine, the same chemical we get from actually achieving something. Your mind literally rewards you for planning, making you feel like you've already accomplished something when you've done absolutely nothing. Think about the last time you made a New Year's resolution. Remember that excitement, that feeling of possibility? Your brain was flooding you with feel-good chemicals just for deciding to change. Then what happened? February came around and the gym membership gathered dust. Now, you might be thinking this is just another procrastination lecture. It's not. What I'm about to show you goes deeper than that, and it explains why some people break through while others stay stuck forever. The 5% who actually make it do something that seems almost counterintuitive at first. Research from the Dominican University of California studied 267 participants and found that people who simply wrote down their goals were 42% more likely to achieve them. But here's the twist: it wasn't just about writing them down, it was about what they wrote. The failures wrote things like "I want to be successful" or "I'm going to start a business." Vague, emotional, dreamlike. The winners wrote something completely different. "Every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. I will spend 2 hours reaching out to potential clients. I will contact exactly 10 people per session." See the difference? One is a fantasy, the other is a recipe. But even that isn't the full picture, because plenty of people write detailed plans and still fail. There's something else happening, something that separates the 5% from everyone else, and it has to do with a psychological phenomenon that most people have never heard of. Before we continue with this video, I would like to remind you that most of you are not subscribed to this channel. Please hit that subscribe button to support us create valuable content like this. Thank you for subscribing. Now let's continue. Let me introduce you to what psychologists call identity foreclosure. It's a term coined by developmental psychologist James Marcia, and it's the silent killer of dreams. Here's how it works: from the moment you're born, people start telling you who you are. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, society. You're the creative one. You're not good with numbers. You're shy. You're the responsible one. And here's the terrifying part: you believe them. These labels become your identity, and your brain will fight tooth and nail to protect that identity, even if it's destroying your future. A Harvard Business School study following MBA graduates for 20 years found something shocking. The graduates who achieved the highest levels of success weren't the smartest or the most connected. They were the ones who, in their own words, felt like imposters early in their careers. They hadn't locked into a fixed identity yet. They were still figuring out who they could become. The 95% who fail, they knew exactly who they were, and that certainty killed them. Now here's where this gets really practical, because I'm not just going to leave you with abstract psychology. I'm going to show you exactly how this plays out in real life. Marcus, a software developer I interviewed, spent 5 years talking about starting his own app company. 5 years. Every weekend, he'd tell his friends about his latest idea. He'd sketch out designs, research competitors, even come up with company names, but he never wrote a single line of code. When I asked him why, he said something that perfectly captures the 95%. I was waiting until I had the perfect idea, until I knew it would work. There's your trap right there. The 95% wait for certainty in a world that offers none. MIT research on successful startups revealed that 93% of successful companies ended up pursuing a completely different strategy than their original plan. Airbnb started as a way to rent air mattresses during conferences. Twitter was supposed to be a podcasting platform. Instagram began as a check-in app. The 5% understand something crucial. You don't think your way to success, you act your way there. Every successful person I studied had one thing in common: they were willing to be wrong, they were willing to look stupid, they were willing to fail in small, manageable ways that taught them what actually worked. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. The real reason most people never make it, the reason that nobody wants to admit. It's not lack of opportunity, it's not bad luck, it's not even fear of failure. It's comfort. A Princeton University study on decision-making found that humans have an unconscious mechanism they called satisficing, a combination of satisfying and sacrificing. Basically, your brain constantly asks, is my current situation tolerable enough that the risk of change isn't worth it? And for 95% of people, the answer is yes. That job you hate, it's tolerable. That relationship that's going nowhere, tolerable. That city you want to leave, tolerable. Your brain is designed to keep you alive, not to make you successful. And staying where you are, even if you're miserable, feels safer than venturing into the unknown. The 5% somehow override this programming, but not in the way you'd think. They don't become fearless, they don't develop superhuman confidence. Instead, they develop what researchers call action orientation versus state orientation. State-oriented people focus on how they feel. I'm anxious, I'm not ready, I don't feel motivated. Action-oriented people focus on the next step. I don't feel ready, but I can make one phone call. I'm anxious, but I can write one paragraph. Let me tell you something that might make you angry. I hope it does actually. You already know everything you need to know to be successful. You've watched the videos, you've read the books, you've listened to the podcasts. The problem isn't lack of information. The problem is you've become addicted to the feeling of learning without the discomfort of doing. Dr. Art Markman, professor of psychology at the University of Texas, calls this preparation procrastination. You convince yourself that you need one more course, one more certification, one more book before you're ready. But you're never ready. Because being ready would mean you'd have to actually try. And if you actually try, you might actually fail. And if you actually fail, you'd have to face the terrifying possibility that you're not who you've told yourself you are. The 5% who make it understand something profound. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the price of admission. You don't fail and then succeed. You fail your way to success. Thomas Edison didn't try 10,000 times to invent the light bulb because he was patient. He tried 10,000 times because each failure gave him information. J.K. Rowling wasn't rejected by 12 publishers because she was unlucky. She was rejected 12 times and kept going because she had already decided that rejection didn't define her identity. So here's what separates you from the 95% who never make it. It's not talent, it's not connections, it's not even hard work. It's the willingness to be bad at something new, the courage to release a product that isn't perfect, the humility to ask for help, the discipline to show up when you don't feel like it, the wisdom to know that your feelings are not facts. Right now, you have a choice. You can close this video, feel briefly inspired, and go back to your comfortable dissatisfaction. That's what 95% of people will do. Or you can do one thing, just one thing today that moves you toward what you actually want. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the timing is perfect, today. Because the truth that nobody wants to hear is this: there is no perfect moment. There's only now and what you choose to do with it. The 5% understand that waiting for the perfect moment is just another way of choosing to stay stuck forever. You already know what you need to do. The question isn't what to do. The question is, are you going to keep lying to yourself about why you're not doing it? Or are you finally going to be honest about the fact that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your decision to stay comfortable? If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. This will help us create more videos like this. So thank you for subscribing. See you in the next one.